thing I love about learning is when you look at stuff you've seen so many times, you get a new perspective. I've gone through this cutting I don't know how many dozen times, but now it looks completely different. But look at all that.
Just to explain that a bit more, the first time I remember identifying this feeling was, I think I was in my early 20s, and I started learning about earth building. That's mud, brick, cob, rammed earth, that sort of thing. And suddenly all these cuttings in the roadsides, which I'd driven past, most of my life, gone past them, suddenly looked completely new, because I was suddenly looking at the profiles through in the soils and the rocks in those cuttings in a completely fresh light. Up until that point, I'd only been concerned about soil in terms of what you could grow in it as a farm boy. And suddenly I was looking at the dirt there and the gravels and the distribution of those gravels and the clay content in terms of what I could build. And what had been so familiar was suddenly fresh and new. And all my life, as I've learnt new stuff, when I learnt about sawmilling, I suddenly looked at trees and timber in a whole new different light. And now as I'm learning the geology and about minerals that you find in the earth, some of these same cuttings, the very same cuttings that I'm so familiar with, are suddenly brand new to me. And I love that about learning, I really do.
Look at all those crisscrossing veins there. Massive mineralization. But further along here, oh, and look how it's white. So that's, the orange is weathered, the white is recently busted off rock. On the camera screen it looks very very pale, but this is red material. And I'm not sure if this is natural or whether this is material that's been processed and redeposited. Now check out that whole hill on the other side of the cutting. See, that's natural, that's bedrock. But then all this stuff deposited on top. Over that way is either where this material came from and was dumped here, or over there is where all this material was cleaned off, because it's completely bare bedrock behind those trees over there. So questions I've got for people. At the very start of the video you see how the rock is very white, it's very pale, and then there's a clear line where it goes to that orangey colour, which doesn't look orange on my screen. I'm not sure how it looks on yours, but in real life it was very red, well, very iron red, and then that iron red is broken where you see bits of rock have chipped away and it's pale underneath, presumably because the iron that is in that pale stone hasn't oxidized yet. So first question, what would be causing the difference, such a stark difference between rock that appears to be loaded with iron and appears to be not loaded with iron? Like what's that going to be in terms of the geology, history? I don't know. That's a very broad question. Like I know the reason is because there's less iron, but I guess more broadly trying to understand why there'd be such a distinct line there. The next thing is all those quartz veins that were crisscrossing, heavily mineralized. What do you reckon the chances would be that that's actually got disseminated gold in it? Couldn't see any visible gold in it, and I didn't get a chance to put a detector over it, but I would imagine that other people have done that many times. So it's more a case of, is there going to be very fine micro or chemically bound gold within all that black mineralized substance? Don't know, but I'm keen to go back and check out that spot a bit more.
Yeah, but anyway, that'll be another time. What are you doing, you cheeky monkey? See you later.